Hey guys, I'm a health visitor in England. Let's talk about when children refuse to leave, for example, the park or a place that they don't want to be leaving, how to handle it. Now, of course, this is going to be different for different ages, but I still always say to parents, communication is key. And even when children are really young, start practicing, start communicating with them, start discussing before you go and whilst you're there, what your expectations of your child is. And this will naturally evolve as they get older. So, what I always say to my children, and what I've always said to my children, is before we go to the park, for example, when I give you a 5-minute warning, girlies, when that 5-minute warning is up, that's when we're leaving. Then, when we're at the park or wherever they want to leave, I say, girlies, we've got 5 minutes left, and then I get them to reiterate back to me what does that mean? What's happening in 5 minutes? And then they'll say to me, we're going. Now, they don't quite understand 5 minutes, and if your children would prefer to have a timer, a visual aid, and say, look, the timer is on, when this timer ends, that's when we're leaving, it may or may not help with a tantrum, and sometimes a tantrum's inevitable, but like I always say, we don't want to avoid tantrums. Yes, they can be really tricky, but in these situations you're teaching them how to handle these feelings. Try not to shy away from them, try to lean into them, don't encourage them, but don't avoid the park because they're going to have a tantrum. Go to the park and think this tantrum is an opportunity for me to teach them. Now, 5-minute timer goes off. Girlies, it's time to go. I don't want to go, please can we stay? In this situation here, label how they're feeling. I can see you're having so much fun. I can see you're really frustrated, you don't want to leave. However, the time has gone off and it is time to go. Now, they might be kicking and screaming and crying, and you can be validating their emotions. I can see you're really upset. We're not going to be doing any threats in this situation. We're not going to be disciplining. They're allowed to be feeling upset, but we're still leaving. We're not going to be doing any of this, mummy's going now. If you don't come, I'm leaving you, because I don't agree with that in the slightest, and I'll do another video on that if you like. I just think it plays with their vulnerabilities. It's just, and you're not leaving, you're not going to leave them. Whilst gathering their belongings and they're crying, I can see you're really frustrated, but we are leaving now. Come on, now we're going to go and pop to do this. We're going to go and do this. And I'm not saying it sounds so much easier than it is, but we're going to take their hand and we're going to leave. Or if they're really, really struggling and you've got the pram there, I'm going to put you in the pram, bub, because I can hear you're struggling to leave the park. Another really big tip is giving them 2 choices. Shall we run out the park, or do you want to piggyback out the park? Do you want to go in the pram out the park, or do you want to walk out the park? Shall we do a race? Shall we see who can reach to the tree the fastest? Try to make it fun, and that does really help as well. Now my children are older, they're 4 and 6. I often say to them, if they're refusing to leave, I say, I did give you a 5-minute warning, bub, and if in future you're unable to leave when I say that we're going to leave, we're not going to be able to come back to these places. And that tends to work as well, because again, that is a natural consequence to my children. And then when I go home, if they were refusing to leave and they want to go somewhere again next time, I say, last time you refused to leave. I'm not going to say no the next time, but I'm going to say, we can try and work on that again. Let's give it a practice. If you've got any other hints and tips, please put them in the comments.